Good morning, Stampers. Happy Monday. Welcome to the first of my series of 4 daily Facebook Lives for our annual catalog kickoff. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada. And I'm excited to be here to share with you some new product. Okay, I'm just updating my iPad here. Okay, and we've got a few housekeeping things to do before we get started into our project, or get into our project today. Now, I realized on Friday when I did my Facebook Live, I forgot to do the draw for the week before, the project from the week before, which was this masculine project. And the way that you can get entered to win any of the projects that I create this week is by commenting in the participating in the conversation, sharing the video. I appreciate all of the shares and even just the comments that you make. It's always nice to know that I'm not sitting here talking to myself. So the lucky winner for this card is Darlene Rogers, and I will pop that in the mail for you this week, Darlene. Okay, and then I had an incentive for the month of April. Anybody who placed an order with me had their name entered to win the Abstract Beauty ephemera pack and a package of the Abstract Beauty cards and envelopes. So I've got everybody's name entered and they're all in this little bucket. And I'm going to draw the winner, and we've got Belinda Scardell. So I will send that to her. Congratulations, Belinda. And thank you all for your orders last month. I appreciate all of them. And your thank you cards and gifts were all done up within the last couple days. So if you haven't received anything from me yet, they are coming. Okay, let's see here. Who have we got? Good morning, Kim and Karen and Susan and Missy. Good morning, happy Monday. Okay, so tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow, the annual catalog goes live. So to celebrate that, I will be doing daily Facebook Lives every day from Monday to Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Each day I'll feature a different product, new product from the annual catalog that we could pre-order, as well as talk about some upcoming events that I've got going on. And tomorrow we'll do a little catalog flip through, and I'll point out some things that I think are important and share some of my favorites. All right, and then I wanted to remind you that starting tomorrow until the 31st of May, we have the in color starter kit. So you know, with the release of every annual catalog, we have 5 new in colors. And so this is a great way to get that collection. So with a brand new catalog, your wish list is always really long. The starter kit is always the best deal, whether there's a promotion or not. And the way the starter kit works is you get to customize it with $165 worth of product. You don't pay shipping and you don't pay GST on that. You only pay $135. As a bonus, from May 3rd to 31st, Stampin' Up! Will throw in a little in-color bundle. So you get all 5 full-size ink pads. You get an assorted package of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You get an assorted package of the in-color 6x6 DSP, and you get some in-color grid paper as well. Okay, and the value of this is just over $92. So it is a fabulous deal. If you plan on purchasing the in colors anyways, this could be the best way for you to get it. So all of that, $165 worth of product, plus all of these products, and you only pay $135. No shipping and no GST on top of that. Okay? All right, last thing before we get into our crafty project for today. If you are in Canada and you do not already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and would like a physical copy of the catalog, please send me a message. I'd be happy to pop one in the mail for you. All right? Okay. I slide this aside. Now today we are going to work with this fun bundle. It's called Sending Smiles. And I love it for several different reasons. First of all, I'm always drawn to sets that have big scripty words and then dies that go with them. So this is similar to the Amazing Thanks dies that are in the January to June mini catalog. So it's got the detailed script and then something that's a little bit larger that you could put this on top of, or you could stamp this on top of this. Okay. And then there are a ton of great greetings in here. And you know what? These greetings are greetings that I would use all of them. I find that sometimes there are sets that are great greeting sets, but there's like one or two that I wouldn't necessarily use, just because you have to have the right person to give a certain type of greeting to. So I find that there's usually one or two greetings that I would never use, whereas in here I would use every single one of these greetings. So that makes the set even better for me. And then not only are there a nice selection of greetings, but there's some great images in here as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to create 2 cards today. These will also be the 2 cards that you will get the kits for if you place an order with me for the month of May. Using the class host code. So as long as your order is $60 and it's not qualifying for a class, and I will post, I believe I posted in the description the host code for this month. You'll get the supplies to create these 2 cards, consumable supplies. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull out the first one. Of course, we are using some in colors, and we're going to dig deep into the in colors tomorrow. But you will get a peek at several of them today. Actually, I think we might be using all of them. Let's see, all but one today. All right, so this is the new Orchid Oasis color. So our card base is just a standard size card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I've got a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch Orchid Oasis that I've gone ahead and I've embossed using the Time Worn Type 3D embossing folder. So it's got a little bit of texture there. So I'm combining some new product with some older product. I've got a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white for the inside, and I've got a 3 by 4 inch piece of white. We're going to use that for the outside. I've die cut this label shape, which is from the dies. So this, the shorter of the 2 label shapes. So I've gone ahead and I've die cut that. And then I've got a strip of, this is a new 6x6 DSP, and it is called, I forgot to look at the name, it's a T something, T Boutique. The T Boutique DSP. So you can see that there's like little teapots on the back. It's really pretty. But we're going to use this Orchid Oasis side. Now, in this DSP are all 5 of the in colors. So let me share a little peek at, okay. So here are the side Bs. So this is the B side, which I absolutely love. I actually prefer the B side to this pattern paper than the A side. So I love, look at all those colors. So we've got Sweet Sorbet, we've got Orchid Oasis, there's some Petal Pink in here, there's some Fresh Freesia, there's some Starry Sky, there's, I think this is Crushed Curry, Parakeet Party, and then Tahitian Tide. So we've got lots of colors. And then when we flip it over, here's the other side. So I'll do a quick flip through because like this, it looks really busy. Okay, so we've got some tea pots. This one's really pretty. I love the lemons. This one's really pretty as well. We got a bunch of teacups. That one. This one. This one's completely different. Got some more teapots here. This one's really cute too, with the little envelopes with flower bouquets coming out. Some more teapots, and this one is so pretty. Okay, so that is the T Boutique DSP. Again, it comes as a 6x6. So that's where this piece came from. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do some stamping first. We're going to need a scrap piece of paper. So a slide, we're going to bring in our 3 pieces of white. Okay, and we're going to grab our 2 stems and some Parakeet Party ink. Okay, so this is the inside. We'll go ahead and I'm going to take the larger of the 2 stems and just stamp this kind of like that in the corner. I'm going to do the same thing on my envelope because we might as well decorate the inside on our envelope while we have all of our stamps out. Makes sense to do it all at the same time. And then I've got my 3 inches the height and my 4 inch is across. So I'm going to stamp a couple of these. Let's see, we're going to put it so it's a little bit straighter. And I want varying heights. I don't want all the heights to be the same. Okay, so we'll do those two. And then I'm going to bring in the smaller stem and add in a few extras. Again, varying heights. And then just to fill in a little bit more in the bottom, there is a single leaf. I'm going to use that and just kind of add just a little bit more green on the bottom here. Okay, that looks good. I think we're done with the green. Now we're going to bring in 2 colors. We're going to bring in Orchid Oasis, and I'm going to call this Orchid Opulence so much. For those of you who've been around for a long time, you might recognize that color. It was a color that we carried years and years and years ago. But I keep wanting to call it Orchid Opulence, but it is Orchid Oasis. Okay, let's start with our envelope. Now we're going to use this floral image, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it with the Orchid Oasis. I have to force myself to think about that. I'm going to stamp off of my scrap paper, use one of my sponge daubers, dip it in the Starry Sky, and add just a little bit of dark at the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing for each one of these flowers. Oh, I got to stamp off. I love these 2 colors together. So I'm sure all of you have seen the new ink colors by now. Do you have a favorite in color? I was actually surprised. My favorite didn't end up being what I thought it was going to be. Isn't that pretty? So we've got our matching envelope. We're going to do the inside. Have you started making your wish list? Is there something that you need to have right away? Something that as soon as the catalog goes live, you guys will be ordering? Oh, Barb says her favorite is Orchid Oasis. Okay, so we've got the inside of our card. Now we'll bring back the focal point and we're going to keep going. So we need to do a number of these. So even though my stems, there's a limited number of stems on here, I'm going to add more flowers. So you'll see me fill them in here in a little bit. I'm just going to do these obvious ones first. And I don't want my flowers to go off the page, so I'm going to put it down a little further if I need to. My favorite, I initially thought it was going to be Sweet Sorbet, but when I got it in, it is not. Sweet Sorbet is not my favorite. I think I love Starry Sky. I didn't think that I would like Starry Sky as much as I do because I thought it would be so close to navy, but it is quite different. So I'm going to go with Starry Sky as my current favorite. I know that that will change the more I work with the colors. I do really like Parakeet Party as well, but it is a very, very bright green. Okay, I think we're going to add one more in here. And I didn't think I'd like Orchid Oasis. I thought that that would be my least favorite, but you know what? It's growing on me. It's actually quite a pretty purple. I'm not normally a purple fan. but it's a very bluey purple. And I mean, look at these two colors together. They just look so great together. Okay, all right. So we've got our flowers stamped. Now we're going to bring in our dark starry sky Stampin' blend, and we're going to do a bit of splattering. So I'm going to take the brush tip of my blend and just do a little bit of splattering. And I love the way our blends splatter because it gives such a fine little splatter. So you can see it's very subtle. You don't get big blobs like you do some of the other ways that you can splatter. Okay, I'm going to slide this aside. Let's see. Susan says she really likes Starry Sky. She likes all of the new in colors except for the Sweet Sorbet. You know, the Sweet Sorbet was not what I thought it was going to look like. I mean, it's still pretty, but I don't know. I expected it to be a little bit more pinky than so red. Okay, let's see. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this little strip. This is about a 3/4 inch strip by 4 inches. I'm just going to use my scissors and just distress the edges a little bit, or just the bottom edge. And then we'll add some adhesive to the bottom of this. And then we're going to pop this on like this so that we have just a little bit showing. And my DSP is just a tad bit longer than my white. Let's trim this off. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Now we'll bring back our card base and we're going to add this piece to our embossed layer. Oh my goodness. So this is going to go on the bottom or towards the bottom. So about 1/2 inch from the bottom. And if anybody wants to recreate these cards, I will have the measurements and photos for both of them, as well as a link to this video afterwards up on my blog at stampedtreasures.com. I also have an upcoming class featuring this bundle towards the end of May. So if you check my blog at stampedtreasures.com on the events page, you'll find all the details for that upcoming class, and I'll share a little peek at the projects towards the end of this video. All right. Okay, so we've got that so far. Looks pretty just as it is, but we're going to step it up just a little bit. I'm going to take this label shape, some Memento ink, and I'm going to use the greeting, a card to say hello. There are a couple greetings in this set, or a few of the greetings that are in this set that you could use without the word sending. So this first card, I wanted to show you that you don't always have to use the word sending with this bundle or with the greetings in this bundle. Okay, and then I think this card also needs a little bling. So the in color ribbons this year are this gorgeous shimmery ribbon. It's just 1/8 of an inch, comes in all 5 of our colors. Can you see how shimmery that is? You can tie bows so easily with this ribbon, and it doesn't add a bunch of bulk to your projects. Actually, when I was talking to my friend Tracy this morning, she said it reminded her of that copper ribbon that we carried a few years ago, and she's right. It does look a lot like this. See, Barb says, I love the ribbon, and she says that's what she's ordering first. The ribbon is so pretty. It's a great way to add a little bit of sparkle, and it frays beautifully as well. We're not going to fray it for this particular card, but it does fray beautifully. Okay, Now we're going to use a little mini glue dot and we're going to add our ribbon to our card. So I'll put that right about there. Pop our ribbon on here. And then on the back of this, I'm going to use a couple mini dimensionals because they fit perfectly on here, just one on either end, because it's going to sit over top of the knot. So you don't need a dimensional in the center. And there we go. So the outside of our card is done. Now we can just add our inside. Pop that on there like that. And now we've got our beautiful Orchid Oasis card using the Sending Smiles bundle. And we've got a matching envelope and a matching inside. Isn't that pretty? I love the two-toned of these flowers. Okay, so that is card number 1 using that bundle. Now we're going to move on to the second card. Okay, and this one does feature all 5 of the in colors. All right. Make sure I've got everything here. Okay, so we are using a thick white piece of cardstock. That's our card base, standard size card base, 5.5 by 8.5. I've gone ahead and I've embossed a 4 by 5.25 inch piece of white. This is just regular cardstock, not thick. And I've embossed it using the timber embossing folder. Okay, so you can see that there is a little bit of a wood grain pattern embossed background there. Okay, and the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to stick these strips on. So these are strips, just 1/4 inch strips of all 5 of the in colors. So this is a great card design that to really highlight all of the in colors. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back of this strip, and I cut them a little bit longer because I am going to go at an angle. So you want them to be a little bit longer than 4 inches. And now I'm just going to add my adhesive to my embossed piece and just keep going with my layers. You can go in any order, but I chose to go in rainbow order. Well, as close as I could get to rainbow order anyways, with these colors. And I'm butting them right up against each other. Doesn't that create a pretty background? The colors look so good together. I just like how bright and cheerful these colors are this year. Although I am going to miss the colors that are retiring. Bumblebee, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight, Cinnamon Cider. I love all of those colors. Hopefully we'll see them come back at some point. Okay, so we've got our background done. Now I'm going to flip these over and we'll trim off the excess pieces. This is a great idea for all those scraps that we always end up with. And then we'll trim this side. There we go. Okay, let's get rid of these. And then we're going to do some stamping and some die cutting. Okay, so I think, I can't remember what is for what. Okay, so we're going to stamp and die cut. So we're going to use this larger leaf, or stem, I guess, not leaf. We're going to do this first. And I'm going to stamp it on here. like that. And actually, while we have it, let's do our envelope. Stamp this. Where's my scrap paper? Stamp on the corner of our envelope. And we can also do the inside of our card as well. Let's do it on this side this time. Okay, so we're all done with the green. Now we're gonna bring in some sweet sorbet. So we're gonna do our flowers in some sweet sorbet. Now, I wanna give you a little tip. When you are using a photopolymer stamp set for the first time, especially if it is a bolder image. So you can see that this is a little bit more bold. It's a solid image. It's not an outline image. Here's a little tip for you. I know I've shared it before, but some of you may not have seen it. If you take a white eraser and just run it over your stamp, there is some sort of film on the photopolymer stamps, and sometimes the ink doesn't stick very nicely to a solid image. And then you want to clean your stamp. So it creates this, I'm not sure how well you guys will be able to see, but it makes it kind of like a milky look when you rub the white eraser on it. And then if you just use your cleaner and clean your stamp. Actually, we'll do this one while we're at it as well. The other thing that you can do if you don't have a white eraser, you can also stamp in Versamark. Stamp in Versamark and then clean, and then go ahead and ink it up. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna bring back our scrap, and I've got my sweet sorbet. And I'm gonna stamp that one and the little one. And those ones are gonna get die cut. Oh, I don't need that. I need this guy. Okay, so we're gonna stamp this one on here. I guess I need my scrap paper again. So going off the page just a little bit. Okay, and then this guy. And we'll stamp this guy right on here. And then we'll do the center, or the inside of our card. I love photopolymer stamps. Makes it so easy being able to see through to line up your images. Okay, so we've got our flowers done. Now we're going to do the flower centers, and we're going to use crushed curry for those. So I'm going to use this one. The other thing that you can do with this particular flower, well, actually this flower, is you can do, are they called brown-eyed Susans? So with this and this, you can stamp this one in brown and this in yellow, and you get some brown-eyed Susans, which is really pretty. That one, and then the envelope. Or maybe they're black-eyed Susans. I'm not a great, I'm not great with flowers. Okay, and we'll stamp this one in the middle. We've got the inside and our card or envelope base. We got to do this guy. Now this one, it looks like that was the first time I'd inked up that stamp. So it stamped the center, so I shouldn't have pushed too hard. I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm completely fine with that if it doesn't have that little yellow center. Okay, now we'll bring in actually we'll do one more thing before we do that. I've got some of our adhesive sheets, And I'm just going to peel off the backing and place this onto a piece of white cardstock. And we'll pull out the dies that we need. So we're going to use several dies here. We're going to use the thinner of the two sending words. We're going to use the dies that coordinate with these. So this guy and this guy and this one. So we'll bring in our little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, because this is a great set to use with our mini machine. And let's do this one first. I do find that when you stagger your plates and feed them in the mini machine, it grabs better. Okay, and then we'll do this one. So I'm going to position that over top. I'm going to grab some washi tape just so I can hold these down. Since I went to all the effort of stamping them, I don't want them to move on me. I'll just tape that piece down. You can also use Post-it notes for this. And then this guy's going to go on here. We'll take that. And then this little one. If I wasn't using Post-it notes, washi tape to adhere these, I would probably just do one at a time. It's just so that I could really keep my eye on the stamped image and make sure that the die doesn't move. But I don't have to be as careful if I've taped them down. Okay. All right. So we got all of our pieces. Let's just put our dies back so we don't lose them. Okay, and then we can start assembling our card. Oh, we got to put our sending die on here. I'll have to rearrange that afterwards. Okay, let's put that on there. Okay, we'll bring back our card here. This is going to go on there like that, and the word sending is going to go over top. So I do still want to stamp a greeting on here. Oh, the dot in my eye is still in the die. I'll have to go back and grab that. Okay, so this is going to go over like this. So I want to stamp my greeting just below, and I'm going to use birthday wishes this time. I'm going to stamp it in black. So I've kind of positioned these where I want them. They're not stuck down yet. Just ink up my greeting, and I want to stamp this so it follows the direction of my slanted piece or my angled pieces. There we go. Again, thanks to photopolymer stamps, that's really easy to do. All right, now this piece I want to put on flat just because the word sending is going to go over top. Okay, so I'm going to use some multi-purpose glue to stick this down. And that is going to go on just like that. And then we can peel well, first of all, we're going to poke out the pieces that we don't need. And then sticking this down is going to be a breeze because we used those adhesive sheets on the back. So I think the trickiest part of this whole thing is just getting those adhesive sheets started. There we go. You do want to be careful, don't pull too hard, just because these dies are so, or these shapes are so thin, they stretch out pretty easily. Now, I do have some tweezers here somewhere. Here we go. I find the easiest way is just to hold them with tweezers. I can position them where I want them. And then I'll just tap that down, and then I'm going to bring back my die because the dot on my eye is stuck on there. So let's see if we can get the backing off of this guy. And there we go. Okay, now we can add our flowers, and those we are going to pop up. So we've got this guy. We'll grab some mini glue or mini dimensionals. Pop this up so that we have a little bit of dimension on our card. That's going to go on top here, and then this guy, we'll add a couple to the back of this one. And that will go on there like that. And then on the back, I'm going to add some more dimension. I'm just going to use the edges. And we're going to pop this up using dimensionals. We'll do one more on here. Bring back our card base. And this is going to go right in the center so that we've got about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. That looks good. And then the last step is just to add some bling. And I've chosen to use some of our iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. These are in the January to June mini catalog, but they are carrying over to the annual catalog, which is really good because they are so pretty. So we'll use a couple big ones. And then we'll use a medium size. So there's 3 different sizes in this. And there we go. Look how colorful that is. So fun, so pretty. And then if we bring back our first card, there we go. So you can see that you can get a completely different look from this stamp set depending on the flowers that you use. So I have promised that I would share the cards that we'll be making in the Sending Smiles class towards the end of May. Like I said, you can find all the information on that class on the events page of my blog, but here's a quick peek at the cards that we'll be creating. Oh, and one of them is coming apart here. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that one. So we've got this one, we've got this one, and we've got this one. So pretty. So it features the stamp set, and then everybody will get a quarter package of this DSP to use as well. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to comment below or to share the video, and you'll get entered to win one of the 2 cards that I've created today. I will announce the winner tomorrow. So every day you only have 24 hours to comment and share the post. I will be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. With another project for you. All right, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.